All right, greetings everyone. We'll get started here in just a moment. I show a few more people trickling in, so we're going to give them a few minutes to join us and we'll get started momentarily. All right, well, I've got a minute after and it looks like the number of folks coming in have slowed, so we'll go ahead and get started. Good morning, everybody. I'm Corey Matthews, the Executive Director of NAIFA-New York, and it is indeed an honor to be here with you today on the Town Hall. I appreciate you taking the time to be here, and I do want to apologize that there have been a few hiccups in terms of communications. This had originally been scheduled for 2 p.m. this afternoon, but we did not want to compete with NAIFA Live. We wanted you to be able to take advantage of Delvin Joyce and that great program. So we moved it to 11, and it did create a little bit of consternation, but worry not, we are recording it. We'll make sure that it's available for everybody to see afterwards. And just wanted to share with you, our members, what's going on with NAIFA-New York chapter and all the exciting things happening and what we have planned. Before we get too far into it, I did want to pause for a moment and would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge some of the changes that we've had going on. It's been an interesting time for our chapter, for our organization, for our nation. There is a lot of change going on. I just wanted to say that our focus isn't really on how we got here, but more importantly, where we go from here. As an association, as a chapter, our first and foremost duty is to serve our members, you who invest your time and your talent and your treasure in us in hopes that we can help you with your business and protect your business and your interests throughout the state of New York and the nation. And that is exactly what we're here to do. And so the focal point of everything that we'll talk about going forward from here is all going to be exactly on that. And that is the future of the chapter and how we will work hard every day to serve you, our members in the state of New York. And so with that, it is the dawn of a new day for NAIFA-New York. For those of you who I haven't had the chance to meet or work with yet, I wanted to take a moment to introduce myself and let you know a little bit about my background. I've been in the association world for over 20 years, working predominantly as a state chapter executive. I am a certified association executive, actually was the youngest ever to become at the ripe age of about 23. I specialize in strategic operations planning and membership growth, which is exactly what our focus is in the state of New York. We want to grow our members because by growing our voice together, it gives us the resources we need to put on more programming to advantage you, have a stronger voice in Albany and throughout municipalities across the state of New York, and otherwise accomplish the goals and interests of the industry. So that is exactly what we're going to focus on. I am very, very fortunate to have such a tremendous leadership transition team as we've formed the new chapter. And we're led by Chairman Emeritus Peter Brown, who is, of course, a living legend in our industry, and we're very honored to have him be a part of it. Bob Gruber is vice chair and handling a lot of the day-to-day operations with me, and I really appreciate his expertise and guidance. Robert Miller is our finance chair and has a tremendous history in NAIFA as well. James Prisco with LifeMark is a great addition as well, and Evelyn Geller, who is also amazing, former president of Women in Financial Services and with New York Life. Great team all around, and they have been entrusted with leading this transition as we get ready to do an important thing, and that is let you, the members, speak on who the future leadership of the chapter is. In our new bylaws that we've adopted, we will be holding an election before the end of the year, looking to install a new board early in the next year that will lead us into the future. As we do that, we will undertake a strategic planning process, and we will be again reaching out to all of you, our members, and asking for input, information, and feedback about how we can best serve you. And then we will take that and put it into a strategic document that will guide our work over the next several years to continue to build upon the storied history and success of a NAIFA-New York chapter. So we're very much looking forward to that. Please look for more information on that as we proceed. We're very excited about what it holds for the future. Advocate. I wanted to talk a little bit about advocacy and some of the items of interest that I'm sure you have regarding this topic. We do have an active request for proposals out in the field. We've solicited a number of the top lobbying firms throughout the state of New York to respond and have gotten a great deal of interest already. So we're looking forward to receiving their proposals and reviewing them and having a dedicated advocate in place in Albany by the time the legislative session starts in January. But we are not waiting for that. We are continuing to work and move forward. In the meantime, we have been doing a lot of outreach with other folks and stakeholders in the insurance space and financial services space. We've talked to leadership within Lyconi and Big I, and have formed strong bonds and collaborative opportunities with them where we can work together and advance your interests. In addition to that, we've participated in a joint producers group, which includes an even broader array of stakeholders. So it's really an opportunity to gather information and look at what we can do to best serve you. We also have an exciting opportunity that we're working to put together that will create a series of town halls with state, local, and congressional leaders, inviting them to come in and meet with NAIFA members from New York who are in their district. And so as we are able to schedule those with those individuals, we will be putting out notices to the members in that area and inviting them to come and do a small town hall setting with their advocate, or I'm sorry, with their policymaker. So we're looking forward to that tremendously. Some of the topics that are up for discussion and that we're watching and monitoring carefully, obviously any new COVID measures, that has been obviously a tremendous disruptor, not only for the state of New York, but for the nation. But for instance, the last order included a premium abatement that put the burden of notification on the consumer, or I'm sorry, on the producer. And those are the sorts of things that we watch closely for and will certainly keep you aware of and work to make sure that it doesn't place any sort of undue burden on you as our members. We also have obviously some legislation that will be coming up that we'll be looking closely into. And then also we've learned that the DFS Cybersecurity Department has identified that a number of producers have not filed certifications of compliance, and the penalties of that can be quite tremendous. So if you haven't done that, we certainly encourage you to do so. They're going to be looking at possibly cracking down on that. And if you need any assistance in that matter, please reach out to us. We can certainly help you through that experience. So Advocate, one of the primary parts of our brand process, is something that we're very much focused on and will continue to work on and provide more information as we get closer to the legislative session in January. Second item, Educate, second element of our brand promise. We want to make sure that we are providing you with all of the tools for success and making sure that you have the information you need to be successful. And in that, we were able to quickly team up and be part of a great program that was initiated and spearheaded by the NAIFA-New Jersey chapter, but also involves Delaware and Pennsylvania. And they put together a virtual triple play Super CE Day. So 3 states came together, put 3 hours of programming and 3 speakers on Tuesday, November 17th at 10 a.m. They've invited us to join onto that. You may have seen our blog post yesterday on the subject that said, let's join in as New York and make it a Grand Slam. The event will feature Tom Hegna, Van Mueller, and Joe Jordan, 3 titans of industry, of our industry. And it also provides the opportunity to earn up to 24 CE credits, including ethics. I at first had to double check that. I thought it must be a typo, but it is self-study, and there are actually a total of 24 CE credits available. So we want to encourage you to take advantage of that. Before I move on, let me jump back to educate. We have a number of other things that we have in development. As I mentioned, we will look to hold those town halls on the advocacy front, but in addition to that, we are looking at speakers for next year. So if you have any input, if there's someone you would like to see, programming you need, continuing education needs, whatever that might be, please let me know. We would love to hear from you about that, and we'll be working with our team to put together a robust programming schedule for next year, and hope to include in-person opportunities should they become available. So we'll move forward with that. Differentiate. So this is what makes us different from everybody else and makes you different as a member in your competitive sphere. One of the things that's important about that is recognizing the best and brightest among us. Yes, I did get a question about the education. The CE is valid in the state of New York as well. It is valid in all the states. It's being offered, the CE is actually being filed through Jackson, and so who is the sponsor for the event, and it will be valid CE in all states. So not a problem at all there. So as part of our Differentiate brand promise, the Belong event is coming up on November 17th. This is a national program that celebrates what it means to belong to NAIFA. It'll be a great opportunity for us to get together and celebrate some of our best and brightest through recognition of our National Quality Awards, our 4 Under 40, YAT Leader of the Year, Diversity Champion, and various certification recipients throughout the year. It is black tie optional. We all have been quarantined for quite a bit lately, so it'd be an opportunity to get out your best and put it on. But if you'd be more comfortable in more of a business attire or something like that, it'd be fine. But it should be a great event. We're looking forward to it. We hope you'll join us for it. And we look forward to doing many great things in the coming year that will be recognized for the NAIFA New York chapter. You may also have noticed that we launched a new website. Really a great opportunity to bring everything in alignment with our brand promise and make it consistent throughout the NAIFA enterprise. We'll have all of our events will be listed here under the events tab, advocacy updates, the Advisor Today magazine, and then our blog. I want to emphasize the importance of the blog, encourage you to visit it. And you can also control how often you're receiving updates from us. You can get them weekly or monthly, or even elect to get them instantly as soon as they're posted. We've heard a lot of feedback from our members about the volume of email, and we certainly want to be sensitive to that. So we wanted to put you in charge of it. And so rather than put out bunches of newsletters and things like that that just can clutter up the inbox, we have the opportunity to post information to the blog as soon as it happens, and then you can discern what is the right intervals for you to receive those updates. So want to encourage you to take advantage of that and visit our website as we bring out more and more great information and materials that you can access through that medium. And then I also wanted to talk about our fourth quarter State of NAIFA report. This happened just last week. Cammie Scott, our national president, did an entire program, which is now available on demand. And you can go to that and reach it. And it kind of goes through everything that we've had going on in the NAIFA Nation this year, which has certainly been different than usual. And there's some wonderful leaders that provide an amazing update on what is happening there. And encourage you to go and visit that and see it if you haven't had a chance to already. So just kind of point out that that is out there. And that really concludes the presentation. I am going to actually start the process of opening up the floor to questions, and I'm going to bring in, we've got a few of our key leaders joining us. I see Evelyn's with us. I'm bringing her in as a leader. Let's see. I see Larry Holzberg, who is our national incoming president-elect. Bob Gruber. Bring Bob in. Welcome, sir. And just open up the floor to questions, discussions, anything that you have, go ahead and type it into the questions. Hey, Evelyn, how are you doing today? Good. All right, excellent. Anyone have any questions for us? Evelyn, you want to share just a few thoughts on where we're at and where we're going?
Well, good morning to everyone. I'm truly excited to be here this morning and participating in this town hall. I think that one of the key things that Corey brought up is, looking towards the future. As you can see, we are, in the process of getting together and talking about, putting together the team for next year. And creating that leadership for NAIFA-New York. And we're certainly looking forward to doing that and to positioning NAIFA-New York for its future as well. So just happy to be here, Corey. Thank you for your opening remarks and very, very excited to be part of this transition team.
Wonderful, thank you, ma'am. Larry, would you like to share a few thoughts, sir?
Thanks, Corey, and good morning, everyone. I'm thrilled to be here. Just on behalf of National and the Executive Committee, we're committed to helping New York in any way we can rebuild. I think you have a great transition team and a great group of people ready to step up and lead and rebuild New York to where they were and will be going forward. It will be New York's association for New Yorkers, and we'll have the full support of the national team and the great team at home office. And I'm excited to roll up our sleeves and get to work and make New York the Empire State again. And I appreciate everybody taking their time to be here, and look forward to everybody volunteering and getting to work.
Excellent, thank you, Larry. And Bob, you want to say a few words, sir?
Just that I want to make sure that everyone understands that this is a transition team. So this group of people here is actually seeking out qualified volunteers to take on a leadership role going forward. I think everybody pretty much on this panel has put in a whole lot of time with NAIFA over the years. And it's really important that we seek out some new, younger, diverse people in New York State to take on the role of leading this organization into the future. So I'm happy to, I think all of our contact information, I believe, is on the NAIFA-New York website, Corey.
Yes, sir.
So if anybody wants to reach out to me, I'm happy to discuss, what is really going to be required of somebody to take on one of those positions.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. So I have gotten a couple of questions, and they're good ones. The first one was, what is the financial condition of NAIFA-New York? And I'm pleased to report that it is actually quite strong. When the change happened and we formulated a new chapter, we formed a new corporate entity. So we do not have any of the obligations or responsibilities that the previous chapter had at that time. And also too, as members pay dues, most of our members are on a monthly renewal. Those dues now are coming to the new NAIFA chapter. Your NAIFA dues dollars are going to NAIFA and are still preserved for you. So they are under the oversight of this board and will be of the oversight of the continuing board going forward. And we are able to put together a budget that will meet the needs of the chapter and do so in a right-sized sort of way that will make the chapter sustainable. It is not a big challenge. I'm honestly really pleased with the financial state of where we are and where we're going. And if there are, detailed questions on those subjects, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I keep saying that. Let me give everybody my email real quick. It's cmatthews, CMATHEWS at NAIFA.org, and I'm putting that into the chat right now. So if any of you have those questions or you'd like to have one-on-one conversations, don't hesitate to reach out. I don't want anyone to feel uncomfortable asking any questions or getting the information they need, because ultimately this is your chapter, and we are fully transparent and want to make sure that you know what's happening, and decisions that are made are those that have been consulted and shared with the members. That's a primary focus that we have. I've been asked about what happened to the folks of the previous chapter, what happened there, what's going on going forward. So what happened was the leadership of the former chapter made the decision to disaffiliate. They have chosen to affiliate with Fonseca. And through that process, we formulated a new chapter and have put in place this transition team to lead us through. I'm not particularly aware of what they're doing on their side. That's not been our focus. That's up to them. But ultimately, all of the members of NAIFA are just that. They're NAIFA members. They remain NAIFA members. You remain NAIFA members and members of NAIFA-New York. So, you're certainly welcome to join other organizations should you choose to, but we hope that you will continue to keep your membership in NAIFA, and we will continue to provide value for that membership, which is ultimately our prime motive. So hopefully that answers your question efficiently. And if there are any other questions or whatnot, please put them in the text. We'd love to hear from you and answer them for you. And I want to underline something Bob Gruber said as well. He focused on the need for diversity, and that's truly important. Diversity in leadership in all kinds of ways. Diversity in age and demographics and work history and experience in the industry. So think about that term in the broadest possible concepts. We want our leadership to be reflective of you, our members, and the people that you serve. And we want to be able to have all of those voices at the table to make the strongest possible decisions for the benefit of all New Yorkers. So I really wanted to hit that point home. And also got another question about how will a lobbying effort in Albany now be handled? Okay, so I'd be happy to elaborate that on a little bit as well. We have, as I mentioned before, put out a request for proposals to the lobbying firms in New York, and have gotten a great deal of interest. We will have lobbyists on the ground in Albany who have the relationships and experience. So it will be a new lobbying team, but we will be putting together a governmental relations committee that will help lead up that effort within the chapter of members and working closely with our NAIFA-New York board. But we will have dedicated lobbyists in Albany working on your behalf. We will have those in place by the time the legislature gavels to session in January, and we'll be evaluating those over the course of the rest of this month. So we will make an announcement as soon as a firm has been chosen, but we've had some great initial conversations with some outstanding firms that have very deep, long-lasting relationships in New York, and we believe can be quite effective in advocating on your behalf, and experience in the insurance industry as well, I should know. Is there any way to work with the other organizations, House divided? Yes, absolutely. So I mentioned a joint producers group earlier, and Fonseca is a part of that. And we were on that call this week with them, and it was very collegial and collaborative. I mean, our focus at NAIFA is first and foremost to serve our members. And our members are not served by squabbling or fighting or organizational politics. That doesn't get us where we want to be. So we're happy to work with anyone, and we're going to put your interests first. And wherever that is the case, you can be assured that will be our focal point. It's unfortunate kind of how all of this came to be and how it all happened. But nonetheless, we are putting that behind us and really focusing forward on the here and now and serving our members. So yes, we are absolutely open to working with anyone as long as it advances your interests. Any other questions? I want to say too, things have been a little bit bumpy as we put a new leadership team in place from a staffing perspective. I really didn't have a lot of ramp up time, had to jump on this, and we put together a lot of organizational documents and gotten the train running, but it's certainly, I wouldn't say running on time or efficiently just yet, but we're rapidly closing in on that. I'm excited to announce that we have been talking to someone that I'm looking to bring on that will be full-time dedicated initially to the NAIFA-New York chapter and getting everything running smoothly, who's an experienced account executive in the association world. So I look forward to bringing on that extra help and getting things a little bit more smooth and getting more information out to you more quickly. So please bear with us as we go through that transition, but certainly by the end of this month, I think you'll see that we have all the things firing on all cylinders. Phone number to contact me, that's a great one. Hold on one second. We do have our NAIFA-New York number, but let me give you my direct line so you can access me there, and you'll have to forgive me, I have to look it up real quick. That number is 703-770-8404, and I'm going to put that in the chat as well so you have it. We do have all contact information on our website as well for our general line, which will be answered by our member services team, and as well as email addresses and so forth. Any other questions? We are going to be undertaking a extensive membership growth push. We want to grow NAIFA-New York and make it stronger. I mentioned that earlier. And I just got a question about how we're going to recruit new members, and that's a great question. So the first and foremost thing we're going to do is we're going to start reaching out to folks who were members and who have lapsed. Since the time that Larry was president of NAIFA-New York, that number totals about 300 people. So we're going to start off first by going back to them and letting them know of the changes and the vision for the future of NAIFA-New York and inviting them to come back into the fold. Some of them have assuredly retired or have other reasons that they won't come back, but we do plan to incentivize them with a new member or a returning member win-back campaign that will give them a slight discount. That was something NAIFA did on a national basis earlier this year, but we've gotten authorization to do it specifically for New York to allow those folks to come back. We've had a number of people actually that have rejoined in the last couple of months who are excited about the new changes and the new direction of NAIFA-New York. And so we want to continue to build on that energy and enthusiasm and try and bring them back into the fold. But in addition to that, there's going to be a number of ways that we're working to recruit new members throughout the state going forward. We have an extensive national program, but specifically in New York, you know, as opportunities come to put on more town halls, both in local areas and get discussions going, and they will be more interactive and hopefully soon in person. We'll be building on that. We'll be developing a stronger volunteer base and committees that will help us with that effort. And we have some great folks, including Tom Palmieri and others who have been aggressively working the phones and reaching out to their contacts and getting them excited about where we're heading as a chapter. So that's kind of a quick overview on it, but we are working to develop a more comprehensive program and plan that we will have in place and make available to you, and looking forward. So this is a good question too. Do we have a feeling for how many of our current members may leave and instead choose to join another organization? Really, no, we don't know what's in folks' hearts, although the conversations we've had, and I'm glad you brought that up, it actually prompted me to think of something else. So when all of this happened, we wanted to make sure that our members understood the change and what happened and how it happened and why. And so in addition to the general communications we put out, we actually called every member of the New York chapter. And it took us just over a day. In fact, I think it was about 10 working hours. We called over 1,100 members of this chapter to let them know that we're here for them and that we could answer their questions and so forth, and talked with many of them. And so we experienced a lot of confusion as we understood and could certainly see why. We were confused ourselves, but nonetheless, we heard a lot of support. And so we're optimistic. I think folks vote with their feet, and I don't think that there would be much of a delay. I think that if folks were intending to leave NAIFA, that would have happened. And we certainly haven't seen that in the month or so since all of this started. Our retention has done very, very well, if not better than it was doing before all of this. So I think we're in a strong position. I think we continue to focus on what we're going to do for our members, because ultimately that's what it comes down to. I think they're loyal to their interests. They're loyal to an organization that is long stood and willing to fight for them and represent them and deliver services to them. More so than any particular set of leadership or anything like that. So I don't see this adversely affecting NAIFA New York going forward. In fact, I see this as an opportunity. As far as whether or not they choose to join other groups, I'm sure they will evaluate that individually as they're able to do and make the best decision for them. So hopefully that sufficiently answers your question. Any other questions? All right, great. Well, hopefully we've cleared all that up. We're really excited about all that NAIFA-New York has to offer. We will be continuing to put information out to you and keep you up to date on what we're doing. Lots of excitement to come. Please go to the blog, check it out, set your settings so that you're getting that information. If you're not getting it for any reason, again, please email me or call me. We're here to serve. And remember that as NAIFA together, we can take on anything. Thanks a lot and have a wonderful day.